Welcome back to 60 Minutes Live Discussion Program. That's the most exciting segment of this program. As I promoted earlier, I'm having a professor of law. Ndoka Chamala. I am a layman. I believe if I go contrary to what we may bring about any litigation, is going to do the services free of charge, because I am here as a novice of law, but as an expert in communication. So I'm talking about Professor Nnabue, a professor of law, a scholar of international economic law, jurisprudence, and international development law. Professor Nnabue happened to be the pioneer dean of Faculty of Law, Imo State University. I remember those days, Imo State University used to come first. I mean, you go to law school, but I don't know about now whether he left the place and went away with his legacies.
No, the legacy
okay, still, he's professor. He was commissioner for tertiary education in Imo State. That's the first time that ministry was created, and immediately he exited. That ministry never came back. Was not patronized by the next government. And as a done, he has over 50 publications to his credit. He has presented numerous publications and journals, both locally and internationally. Go to national, foreign journals, especially in the area of law development and jurisprudence. Because I used to like one of my friends called Akeye Bode. You like those days, he says, an enemy to my enemy is my friend. So that's what the postulation of a professor of law of jurisprudence. But now Professor Nnabue is an honorable, currently is an honorable federal commissioner, the National Population Commission at the Abuja level, representing Imo State. He is a proud family man and the soldier of Christ of the Knight of St. John International. Prof, you're welcome to 60 Minutes Live.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, I said that you are the dean, the pioneer dean faculty of law, and the men in those days, University of Imo State, the Imo State University used to come first at law school lawyers as the best law students or whatever there. What has happened? Because in recent times, we've not been hearing Imo State name at the law school in the honor of lawyers. Did you leave the place and went away with the same goodwill?
Thank you very much. Even though this is an aside,
yes,
of why we have come here.
Yes.
Imo State University Faculty of Law is still towering higher and higher.
Okay.
The people I left there are doing even better than myself.
Oh, well.
And the students are really doing very well.
Okay, that was a good one. No, until when we subject that for verification. Yes. The National Population Commission conducts trial census for 2023 population and housing census. Sir, what is population and census?
Population, of course, is one of those basic ingredients that supports statehood in international law. You must have territory, you must have sovereign, you must have population, you must have landmass, and you must have laws that guide you. So without population, a nation ceases to exist. And the census, of course, we know is the head count of human beings within a particular country, well, what we call state within a particular country. That is what census represents. And because of death rate and birth rate, census should be done periodically. In Nigeria, it is estimated to be done every 10 years. The last census was done in 2006, which means that by 2016, there should have been another census. But that's not to be. We are now in 2022, heading to 2023. We are happy that the government of the day has approved that this census must come on in 2023.
Okay, that's the issue there. Yes. Now the commission is concerned with what it termed trial census exercise.
Yes.
So why like in my community about July or June or thereabouts. One day I visited home, they said that were these people from Population Commission doing delineation and demarcation.
Yes.
And that one gone. And now you are talking what we call trial census. What is this trial census all about?
Okay. Just like you pointed out, when you saw functionaries of the National Population Commission in your community, those were part of the pre-censal activities, things that must take place before the actual census. Having done all those enumeration and demarcations, we are now into the trial census exercise. That is to say, a dress rehearsal of what the actual census will be, particularly when we are employing technology into the 2023 census. It means that we have to try out these our instruments, these our equipments, and all that to ensure our methodologies, to ensure that come 2023 they'll be very effective to give us a verifiable, acceptable, and a clear census of what Nigerian population is.
So let me take you made mention of technology.
Yes.
In those days, census were done by counting 1, 2, 3 in the home. The father has, the mother has this. So now that they are going to employ technology, if during the, even with the trial census and the main census, are you going to have certain things like thumbprint? And
No.
So
there will be no thumbprint, there will be no paperwork. We are dealing with digital census, and we're going to use some PAD instruments.
what is PAD?
Personal data assistance.
Okay, PAD.
Yes, that will assist the person doing the enumeration, count the people, and move the result to the server in Abuja. In other words, there will be no human intervention, there will be no mutilation, and there will be no question of sorting out maybe after counting. You go back and meet the officers to now change their figures. Those things will no longer be there, because those were the bane of our society, and that's why the censuses of the past were not accepted. Everybody will find fault in what another person has done. But this one is near foolproof, because with technology, if you follow it, and that's why we're doing this trial census, to ensure that all the equipments we want to deploy come 2023 will serve exactly the way we want them.
Okay, sir, before I ask you other issue, you made mention of acceptability.
Yes.
But again, before I ask him this question, I am with Professor Nnabue, the Hon.Federal Federal Commissioner, National Population Commission, representing Imo State. If you can join us, type in on your Facebook and YouTube NTA over live, LIVE. You watch us there and it will be there permanent for you. Sir, yes, I was talking about acceptability.
Acceptability, yes.
Over the years, crisis has beclouded our census figures that led to some certain officers like one Nnabue, who was the National Population Commission chairman, that said that this time out we are not going to count baboons and chickens. And there are times it has been said that yes, there is some part of the country they count cows and goats and other thing, that's why their own figure is higher than that. So now that you say you're going to employ technology, you're not going to do thumbprint, you're not going to do capture data. What is the assurance that the figures you are going to impute to the server there may not be manipulated, that may generate another issue of credibility?
Thank you very much. You know, before now, we have done enumeration area demarcation. In other words, beyond the physical counting which we want to do now, we have a fair data on the number of houses in Nigeria, the number of houses in every locality, and even an estimated number of households in these houses. If that is the case, even without doing the census, we can stay in the offices and tell you how many Nigerians we have. But to make a sure, double sure, we will still go to the field, do the counting. And in this counting, There will be no manipulation of any sort. We will look at the household, we take the information, we input them into the system, and it is saved, and it is saved forever. So it can always be acceptable because it is the present day way of doing census, using technology and avoiding human errors and human elements.
Okay, let's go back to the trial census. Yes, I understand that it is not in all the states nor all the local governments that this trial census will be carried out. In Imo State, where would this trial census be carried out?
Let me correct one impression.
Okay.
The trial census is going on in all the states in Nigeria.
Okay.
And in every state, it is going on in the 3 local governments.
Okay.
No, in the 3 senatorial zones.
Of each state.
Of each state, because each state has 3 senatorial zones.
Okay.
So in every senatorial zones, we picked 3 local governments.
Okay.
In the local governments, we picked 1 locality each.
Okay.
A locality has a supervisory area of about 5 enumeration areas. What are we trying to get? When we get a team of 10 people working in 5 enumeration areas, we will now have a timeline of when they will finish, so that after the trial, when we want to do the census, we can now calculate that this census will take X period and everywhere will be counted. All right? So in Imo State, in Olu zone, we're going to Ajebema, we're going to Uguta, we're going to Olu. That's for Olu zone. And specifically, the localities involved is in Ajebema, we have Ogada Maho Ebema. Ogada Maho. In Ebema. In Uguta, we have Umebu Mbalagwa, Uguta local government. Umebu. Mbala Agu. In Olo, we're talking about Amanato, Eziachi. These are the 3 localities we will deal with from these 3 local governments. In Owerri zone, we have Ngobala, Ikeduru, and Abombise. In Ngobala, we are going to Ndoku, Umonye, Imeriam. Yes, Ndoku particularly. In Ikeduru, we are going to Umuchoke, America, Inishi. Yes, in Abombise, we are going to Omodiawa, Obetiti. Yeah. In Ogigwe zone, we are going to Isialambano, Onimu, and Obo. And Obo. In Isiala, we are going to Umuchi, Osowere. In Onimu, we are going to Echeribe, Eziama, Okwe. In Obo, we are going to Onwura, Alike, Obo. Obo.
Okay, fine, sir. So, what are the parameters of choosing these localities and the places?
We usually say they are randomly chosen. They are randomly chosen, but on our data base, we have specific kinds of problems presented in these areas, either terrain, security, reaction of the people, and stuff like that. We have all this as notes, and we have chosen them so that when we go there, do the trial census, it will help us to prepare better for the actual census.
Exactly, you made a mention of the war security.
Yes.
That's where I'm coming.
Okay.
Because especially in the Olu zone, I'm not saying that Olu is insecure area, but there are problems of this or that, both in Haji, in Amanato, in all those areas, and so. How are you going to coordinate to ensure the safety of the numerators? Because especially such volatile areas, now are you going to go with a security man, or what protection, what exercise you have going to carry out?
Well, number one, it is God who protects all of us. We have to give credence to that. But being public officers, we have liaised with the DPOs, the DSS, the other security agencies within the state, and even the vigilantes within these localities to assist in protecting the people. Another strategy we have adopted is more than 50% of these people who are going to do this trial census come from these localities.
Okay.
So that will help in language barrier, that will help in acceptability, and that will help in the smooth running of the work. I don't think any community will want to attack their own kith and kin to satisfy their security problems. So if we do all this and leave it in the hands of God, we will be secured. And this is an opportunity also to tell our people that if you fight government, you are worse for it. There are ways all over the world, international best practices, on how to deal with government when you are averse with their positions. The House of Assembly is there, the courts are there, even carrying placards and showcasing your anger. Government will listen to you. Negotiations will be done, discussions will be done, and there will be peace.
Okay, sir. Let me see coming with this.
Sorry, my dear,
okay.
Insecurity does no one any good.
Yeah.
Okay, if there is insecurity and you challenge government personnel and they shoot your people or you shoot the government personnel, it escalates the problems. It doesn't solve anything. So there has to be ways of resolving problems other than violence. Violence is a bad wind that does no one good and must be eschewed.
Okay, sir. Now that you are going into the communities and we are talking about security, and have you been able to reach to the village heads, traditional rulers?
Yes.
Informing them that this exercise is coming, so that when some people see them, they will not raise false alarm. So what's the relationship?
No. We have written letters, we have communicated to the affected localities. Remember, in every local government, National Population Commission has an office headed by a controller.
Is that true?
Yes, in every local government, National Population Commission all over the country, in every local government, they have a controller that is in charge of the local government.
Are they effective?
Very effective.
Okay.
They register bats, they do all kinds of activities, and right now, they are the people who are reaching out to the chairmen, who are reaching out to the AZs of the particular localities, who are reaching out to the PGs, and they have even called town hall meetings to discuss with these people and tell them that we are coming, and we are coming with their own people to help do the trial census.
Okay, sir. You see, let's say there are much issues here. In the southeast, people always repair when they say they want to do head count, something has to do with a national thing, all those kind of things. I remember the agitators and sometimes say, we don't want to be counted, we are not Nigerians. And this thing at the end, it counter-runs. When the figure comes from the north, like say Borno, maybe they have 20 million persons, come to Imo, you have 1.2 million, people start raising eyebrows. What is the commission doing to assuage the minds of the people and let the people know the importance of head count like this?
Well, the first thing is people must save themselves from the influence of wrong information. Wrong information is like wrong education. It is devastating. Let me give you an example with the Borno thing you talked about. At the time we were doing the last election, 90% of Borno people were in IDP camps. And yet, voting took place in Borno. They returned their numbers and they used it to win elections. Alright? Our people must know that whether you are agitating or you are not agitating, step one in the right direction is to follow government policy. Even if you want to be a new autonomous community, you must be counted. Because it is when we know your number that you will be eligible for a new autonomous community. Ditto for local government, ditto for state, ditto for even nationhood. So whatever you want, you must submit yourself to the tenets of government policy, get counted, get to know how many you are, and with your number, You cannot begin to prepare yourself and begin to say, this is what we want to be. If I want to be a new autonomous community and I refuse to be counted, of course, at the point of filling your autonomous community files, they will say, go to National Population Commission and bring your population. And they come there and they say you are 200 persons. How can we give autonomous community to people who are 200 persons? You understand?
Yeah.
But if you people participate effectively, all right, and you come up to say to 20 million persons, of course, once you apply, oh, this is a big community, give them autonomy. That will also run through the line, whether for state, whether for a new government, whether for anything. But the best thing our people must do at all times is to ensure that when government brings their policy, they must follow that government policy. It is our policy and it must be followed. And when it is followed, the benefits are numerous.
Okay, if you just joined us, I'm speaking with Professor Nnabue, a professor of law, a scholar of economics, an international scholar of economic and jurisprudence development. So, and the
scholar of international economic law.
Okay, economic law,
jurisprudence, and international development.
Thank you very much. That's why you're a lawyer. Yes, so for you to join us, you can type NTA over live on your Facebook and YouTube. You will be there and join us live as we're talking. Sir, let me ask you this question. You talked about, you said the enumerators will be drawn from the communities where you
been drawn.
Okay, have been drawn from these communities.
80% of them,
yes, because they know the terrain, they are son of the soil, they speak the language, and they know where the houses of people are.
Yes.
So now, what education have you given them to be able to do this digital trial test run that you're going to carry out?
Okay. It is important we know that in all activities of the commission, we do adequate training. For example, we had the master's trainers in Abuja. After that, we had the principal trainers at the zones. And now we are having the training of the functionaries in the states. So you train the master trainers, they come to the zones, they train the principal trainers, and the principal trainers will now come to the states to train the functionaries. We are training them on the use of the PDAs, we are training them on the use of the Census Pro, we are training them on the use of all our facilities. You see, like we say, the trial census is a dress rehearsal. Everything that will be used during the census, the timelines that will be involved, is what we must train these people to do, so that they go and act it out and bring back results, so that we are sure that this, when applied to the main census, will give us all that we need. So we are training them and they are doing well. They will finish, they would have finished today, but because we didn't open to business on last Monday and Tuesday, so they will finish over the weekend. But by Wednesday, they will go to the communities. And when we go there, we'll meet the Eze that will have come. The PG will be there to support us. The stakeholders will be there. The guides will be there. The women leader will be there. The youth leaders will be there. They are already aware that our people are coming. So they will receive them. And in the morning, the guides will move the 10 enumerators to these 5 enumeration areas. They will complete the assignment and come out. Let me advise our people, don't panic about this exercise. When I say don't panic, I mean don't bother about saying, oh, my children didn't come back for the census. This is not what we're interested in for now. Nobody needs to come back. And even if we come and see just 2 or 3 of you and count you, that does not mean that will become your population. Certainly not. The trial census will die with the trial.
Okay, the figure generated
will not count, will not be used as data. The data generated will not be used in any way, except that it will help to guide us to know within time frame, within timelines, how these activities will come and will be achieved. So let nobody panic.
Okay, sir. Yes, you made mention of people returning home, this type of things. So during the is it important even during the main census, for people to leave their locality where they reside to go back to their village to be counted, because since it is important that if I am counted, it is going to add to my village population, so is it important for me to leave Owerri, go back to Ezinite to be counted there during the main census exercise?
You know, you have said that I'm also a scholar of international development law. Part of the problem we have with underdevelopment is we misapply factors. Census is a process of knowing how many human beings are in Nigeria within the census night. That is the activity. It is not the politics of how many people are going to vote for you. But because of underdevelopment, we mix up census and the periodicity that go with it with politics. So we now think that, oh, if we do census and a community is or a locality is 1,000 persons, that during election we will not give them 10 booths. It doesn't follow. INEC registration for purposes of those who are resident in the INEC area will go on and capture the persons who are there, and will use that to create INEC wards for purposes of voting. There are two different things. If you watch in this proposal, you will see that the elections will come, and after the elections the census will come. If we are to be a necessary ingredient for elections, it would have come before the elections.
What of in the area of economic planning, because figures are used to be able to apportion the number of facilities,
again,
this thing that will go here, number of roads,
again underdevelopment. Again underdevelopment. Because we are grossly underdeveloped. If you ask me to cite a university, I want to cite it in my own village. If you ask me to cite hospital, I want to cite it in my village. Not minding whether there are human beings who will assess the institution or who will assess the healthcare facility. But the issue of population is to appreciate the number of people living within a locality by the census night. In which case, if you are now planning, it will help government to know where to site facilities to the benefit of majority of their people. So when we all live over a township, for example, and go to our villages and we get counted, yes, we have boosted the population of our people, but at the end of the day, we'll come back to Owerri. So when schools are built in those villages, all right, if you provide a school that will take 1,000 pupils, and the people who go to school in a village are just 200, it's a wasted facility. Then we'll come back to Owerri, because we were not there during the census night. We have gone to our villages, assuming we'll use it, all right? Then they will build a school for just 200 people, and all of us come back here, and there are 1,000 pupils. They have no classroom.
Okay, sir. Yes. You
so, like I said, these are prices we pay for being underdeveloped.
That is an issue of education, enlightenment, and publicity.
Correct.
So, what has the commission been doing, or what is the commission doing? National Population Commission, because after this census now, what we say the commission will go into comatose for a number of another how many years? So what is the commission doing nationally, state level and local government level to ensure that they educate the public? Because I'm not, as you said, that we have offices that are run by whatever level of staff in the local government. I'm not aware. So what is the commission now doing to make their work a household like INEC is making now about voters registration and the politics?
Well, there must be a day of kickoff. Using INEC, for example, you can see that the awareness our people are getting today was not there in the last election. All right? Mm-hmm. So we have started now. We are going to the press houses. We are going to the print media to make sure that people appreciate the work of National Population Commission and get aware of what they're supposed to do and what the people should benefit from them. For example, some of us don't even know that when you have a child, you should register the child with National Population Commission. And if you don't do it, you have disenfranchised that child. And this registration is also free. But people don't do it. People don't know that when somebody dies, you should go to National Population Commission and get a death certificate. Of course, why will you bother? Are they giving you money to do your burial? So once the doctor issues you a death certificate, you go and bury and go away. But this is part of our underdeveloped nature. And we are calling on our people to be aware of the duties of National Population Commission, both in terms of head count, both in terms of birth registration, both in terms of death registration. All these things are the things National Population Commission. In fact, we even register marriages.
Yes.
People come to us only when they want to get international passport, and they say, go to National Population Commission. Your affidavit will not be accepted. They now come to us and we give them. And this thing is free now, between day 1 of your birth to 18 years, very free. Come there, register. They won't get it. Once you are above 18, then you pay. And they'll start crying, they are charging them. But they had all the time 18 years to come and register free and take the paper and keep it for life. And they will not do it.
Okay, sir, let me take you back to the enumerators we are going to use.
Good.
During the elections, we use election as a yardstick because that's where ad hoc staff are being used. I know the people are using ad hoc as well.
Ad hoc, yes.
Now that they are not regular staff, there's always this issue of their emoluments, paying them their stipends at the end of every exercise. There will be strike, there will be complaints, and their money will not be paid. They will not be provided for this and this and that. So is National Population Commission ready armed with the cash to pay the enumerators immediately they finish their work without you going to the press to say, Oga Professor Nnabue, come and pay us our remunerations?
Thank you very much. This is not the first time we are getting involved with ad hoc staff. From EAD phase 1 to EAD phase 18, we were hiring ad hoc staffs, all manner of persons, and no one person can raise his hand and say he has not been paid. And I'm assuring you that all our ad hoc staffs, once taken, must be paid without complaint. The other day we just had the what was it? A special population program, special population ad hoc program. What is special population? There are people who have no homes. There are people who live in markets. There are mad people who live here and there.
Those under the bridges.
There are people under the bridge. There are fishermen who go to their fishing. There are farmers who relocate to their farms and they stay. We call them special population. But they are part of population of Nigeria. We have done their own trial. Alright? And the people have been paid. So every person who works for national population, before we embark on any program, we'll be sure that the cash is available. We'll work out how much they will be paid. We know the number of people who will be involved. And once they finish, they are paid. Direct. Not through my office. Because they will stop by saying, this is the name, this is the phone number, this is the bank details as supplied by the candidate. And every other thing is direct to them. Another technology. So the no question of Imo State has received their money, they have paid Mr. A, all those things have stopped. They have never been there, they cannot be there. So every program we start, the names are taken. Like now, we are working with at least 109 persons in Imo State. Because we are dealing with 9 local governments, all right? Outside the 10 people who will work in each locality, we have some other staff that will complement it. It's supposed to be 90, but it's now 109. The headquarters have their bank details and everything, and at the appropriate time, by the press of the button, everybody gets his alert, and they go. They don't come back to us.
Okay, that's a good one. So, okay.
Yes.
Professor Nnabue, the Honorable Commissioner, Federal Population Commission representing Imo State in Abuja. Now,
this our name is giving you trouble.
Yes, so you've been speaking with us on the trial census and the importance of census, and I believe we still have a little time, or maybe less than 5 minutes to top up. So, sir, let me ask this one. What do National Population Commission expect from the people during and after the trial census exercise?
What we expect from the people is, number one, people are coming into your locality. Cooperate with them. Give them security. within your locality. Answer the questions as clearly and as innocently as you can. Don't interrupt with their affairs. Don't go to have meeting to say, how do we increase our population? We have no need for it now. So once you give them that cooperation, they'll work very well and come back, and your community would have been adequately represented. Bearing in mind that this is not the actual census. So I want to commend all the communities we have gone to. We have received massive cooperation from all of them during the EAD days, that's the enumeration area demarcation days. We have finished with that. We are happy. We didn't have any bad story about Imo State. So in this trial census, let them do everything humanly possible to support this program and ensure that it is properly achieved.
Okay, sir. On a final note, is there insurance for those enumerators in case of any unforeseen in the volatile areas?
Yes. Why I am answering yes with some foot dragging is because in the commission meeting, the commissioners talked about need to have insurance to protect our functionaries from hazards. But I don't have the full details now, but I know I've mentioned it in the commission, and be rest assured that we are also thinking about the welfare and security of our staff in the field.
Okay, sir. Prof, on the summary and the final note, what do you want to tell our Nigerians and about the Population Commission, and possibly for those of them who have not collected their PVCs, to ensure that, yes, because to ensure that it's good governance that brings about stability, that works on the population, the figures you brought out, that makes people to look good. So what input will your commission make for equitable distribution of services, goods, and acceptable figure at the population end?
Well, even though we don't intend to mix up the interests, INEC talks about PVC. If you're a good citizen, you should have your PVC by now. If you don't have your PVC, go and get one and be ready to vote. If there are complaints you have about government in the past, getting your PVC is a step forward to ensuring that the government you want is the government that comes into place. That one, we need not to overemphasize it. On the part of National Population Commission, without having a population, you cannot plan well. How do we say it? When you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Our motto for this 2023 census is, you count. We recognize that fact. You count. Be counted. You're a human being. You count. Be counted. Don't stay out. Don't look for reasons to fail. You are important to this nation. We know you count to the progress of this nation. So we want you to be counted. And when you are counted, then you would have helped government in planning well to provide you with all the basic facilities. Remember, staff of National Population Commission are not in charge of good roads and bad roads, wherever you are coming from. They are not in charge of pensions and payment of salaries, wherever you are coming from. So don't see them as, this is government, you are only coming to count me. All right?
When my father this for pension, please go away. You are making the wrongest mistake.
It is possible that between 2006 and now, they didn't have proper figures as to determine how many people who would retire, as to determine how many people who live in particular localities. This is our opportunity to amend. This is also our opportunity to grow up and ensure that at the end of the day during the census, Imo State as a state comes up more numerous, more populous than other states around us. We cannot achieve this by agitation. Agitation takes us to nowhere. Agitation does not even solve problems. Agitation puts us in jeopardy. Government has the power. Government has the force. How can you challenge them with bare hands? Let us cooperate with government and ensure, one, that this trial census comes up very well in the localities designated. And we use the number, try out our instruments, try out our modalities, and come next year, we will now have the actual census. And when we have the actual census, everything will be well. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Prof. When you fail to plan, you plan to fail, be counted so that we will not fail this time. And so, Prof, thank you for being my guest today.
Thank you very much, Tony. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Till next week, same time, same station, we will come your way with another guest at other topical issues that concerns you and I. I remain yours sincerely, Tony Madu, saying, God bless Nigerians.